Greetings and welcome to another episode of The Evolving Mind. And we've been discussing the topic of effective communication. Today we'll be continuing with that subject because it's something so important in everyone's life, as we have not necessarily learned what is the best way of connecting with each other when we are using our words. Regretfully, because of that, we have many issues in life with our partners, with our co-workers, with our parents or children. And once we are able to understand how the basis for this type of communication is, it will be easier. However, by the time that we learn that, it could sound funny, difficult, maybe uncomfortable. Meanwhile, I really urge you to practice it if you can, and from there on we can just make progress and do better. We covered acknowledgement and then we stopped on the topic of feelings, and feelings are the alphabet of communication, at least this type of communication. Why? Because without specification of each feeling, it is very difficult to show our point of view, where we are, what our situation is, and have the other person or people understand what condition we are in. So feelings are actually the situation or the conditions we're in. If we want to go to the real estate example of location, feeling is the same thing, is the location of who we are, where we are at a certain time or a given moment. That's why it's so important or urgent to pay attention to this point. Regretfully, we cannot do that though. Why can't we do that? Because we have not learned the proper words for describing our feelings. If I ask you, what are you feeling? And you say, I'm angry. First of all, I am angry, not I feel angry. So that means that you are in a position that a lot of feelings are on top of each other and you cannot really discuss them because the pressure of such convoluted issues of feelings are on top of each other. So then there is a physical challenge with that anger, which is the pressure, the way that your body is reacting to the situation. So when we talk about anger, not only it's not a feeling, it is a bunch of feelings that now it has come together with certain sensations, and these sensations together with the feelings have created an emotion. So a lot of the things that happen to us, especially in the way that we're connecting with someone else, is emotional. Those are our reactions to a situation based upon the previous experiences, based upon the ways that our mind is set. And once this is set in this way, we are unfortunately kind of stuck with certain reactions that are like computer programs, that these programs, they just pop open and they create this presentation of who we are, the way we are, which is not truly how we feel. Now, let's go back to anger and see if we can break it down. So let's say if I feel angry, what is building this anger is I feel disappointed, I feel let down, I feel neglected, I feel made fun of, I feel ignored, I feel discounted. A lot of different feelings that we don't even have regular words for it, or it kind of comes strange to put them together, become the foundation of this anger, and these come together, and now the only thing that it needs is somebody else to poke at it. Let's say that you just do something disappointing to me now, and my disappointment, which is already there with a bunch of other things, it's going to be ignited, and boom, there is an explosiveness of my emotions, which I could have avoided by understanding my feelings and communicating them with you, right? I cannot emphasize more upon the importance of the feelings. If I want to give you a very precise example of the importance of feelings, it's understanding it in the terms of, cell phone or a navigation system. As we are navigating towards some place, the way that this navigation system or the global positioning system works is that it has to identify the place that I am when I'm connecting to the satellite. If this connection is not made from my base, how is the satellite going to know where I am and to direct me from where I am where I want to go? So now think of the satellite as your brain, and this is your body, and the signal that is going between your body and your satellite are feelings. So the feeling needs to be known, and then from knowing these feelings, the satellite is going to pick up your location and gives you direction of how to respond. Otherwise, if we don't have that, we're disconnected and we're just kind of going around without really knowing exactly where we go. Maybe based upon the ways that we have gone in the past, we go the same route that we have gone, which has not been the best or the shortest or the most scenic route. And we have all of these issues in the ways that we still go. I hope that clarifies it further, and you see why feelings are so important. It's a location that you are at any given moment, and it's pinpointing exactly the specifications of this location. To the right is disappointment, to the back is being ignored, to the front is insulted. To every direction there is one feeling, and you need to understand these feelings. Now, the issue that, as I suggested, we have is that we have not learned the vocabulary. And why we haven't learned the vocabulary? Because our feelings have been discounted. Whenever that we had feeling, in some cultures more than others, as children, not only these feelings have not been respected, they have been ignored, they have been put down, they have been passed by. And for that reason, not only I didn't express my feelings, I learned that avoiding or hiding my feelings is more beneficial to me. Because if I said I feel embarrassed, and they told me that, well, this is not embarrassing, everybody does that, so that's ignoring my feeling. If I said I feel afraid, and they said, well, no, you shouldn't be afraid, this is something that everybody does, and they're very brave and you're not. So now I'm also stuck in a situation that I'm not going to express my feelings, because now I also feel belittled, embarrassed, not acceptable, and a lot of other negative feelings that are associated with the way I am. Right? Let's take a deep breath. Understand where we are. And once we understand where we are, we can express where we are. Right? First is understanding our location, then expressing where we are. So now we had the acknowledgement. We said that, we're not fighting with you. We send this message that this is just a proper communication, and there is no intention of fighting you or fleeing from this situation. Now we can go on with expressing our feelings. I feel uncomfortable when I'm put in a place of, being accused of something. So I'm not saying that you accuse me of something, because when I say you accuse me of something, I'm not expressing feelings. I'm just saying that, you did something wrong to me. And then what are you going to be doing? You're going to defend yourself and you say, that wasn't an accusation, I was just suggesting. No, but I felt hurt. Okay, and if I cannot say how hurt I was, you're not going to understand what's going on. This is a very delicate issue, and each one of these feelings are important, and it takes time until you find them. If you ever get a chance to have my book, Balancing the Wheel, at the end of it, there are two appendixes of feelings, positive feelings and negative feelings, because at the end of this book, without the feelings, I couldn't even tell you how to make this kind of communication. And this communication is based upon two types of different feelings. Some are positive feelings and some are negative feelings. These negative feelings doesn't mean they're bad or good, or positive is not bad or good. It is just positions that are less advantageous to my well-being or more advantageous to my well-being. So the judgment of feelings is also something that we need to avoid, because if I'm avoidant of these feelings, what would I do? Again, I'm ignoring feelings. So we need to have an understanding that feelings are not subject to judgments. If somebody is sharing a feeling with you, you cannot say, no, you're wrong. Somebody's feelings needs to be respected. You cannot just say anything about these feelings one way or another. You just got to take it for the face value of what is being said to you, and that feeling, whatever it is the position of that person. I cannot say you're in a wrong person because that person is in that place, right? My suggestion is that try to differentiate your feelings and understand the difference between sensation, feelings, and emotions. Sensations are physiological understandings of your position, and emotions are accumulation of the feelings plus the physiological sensations. I hope this part of this conversation, which is really the middle ground of all of this communication, is becoming more useful to you as you're practicing it. Just practice it, with your closest people. Just try to go ahead, and the next time that you have a conversation, use the feeling words. See how maybe limited you are, or maybe you have such a vast vocabulary. Whichever it is, you can just acknowledge yourself for the amount you know. If you have a vast amount of vocabulary, so utilize them. And if you don't have enough, learn about those feelings. Well, I want to share with you something really important. Wherever you are in life, your learning is very important. And for learning, you need to unlearn first. A lot of the issues that are bothering us today is because we learned a way of doing something in the past and we keep on doing the same thing. Communication is the same way. We have learned from our parents, we have learned from our teachers, we have learned from TV and the books and all of that. And this kind of learning new effective communication requires releasing the old one, emptying the system, deleting all of these false information that we have. So if you want to kind of have a fresh look at this understanding, my book is Balancing the Wheel. It is on Amazon and also on Togetherness Media online store. You can always take a look at it, and if you feel like this is something helpful to you, I highly recommend at least having that part about communication read and use the feeling words that you can. The audio version of the book is also available on audiobooks.com, and over there you can just listen to it and you can have it in the way that is being described in 9.5 hours without really needing to read it. I'm going to make this a little bit short because I want to just get to the point of communication, and this communication requires a great way or skill about relaying where you are. And now let's go to the other side. Now the other side of the communication, let's say if they don't speak the language that you do, they're not familiar with the communication, they may defy your position, they may not understand, and you need to be ready for that. And you can educate the person by just letting them know that all you're doing is trying to be clear, transparent about your intention, about the way that you are, and you just want them to be completely open to who you are and what you are doing and what your intention is. And that clarity is required for you first. So I would like to advise you to please first find out who you are. First be clear with what you are trying to achieve, what intentions are in this communication, what situation you're in, what would you like to gain from this communication. So you have a lot of work to do before you're getting into the communication and expressing your feelings and all of that. I hope this was helpful to you. I promise that we can continue with this conversation on our next program, and we can give you a lot more information about the steps of this communication. For now, I hope that you can be practicing your feelings and feeling words until we catch up and we practice some more. Have a beautiful time, and thank you for attending to yourself and your feelings.
Togetherness Media. togethernessmedia.com.